Hello and welcome back to It's Queer Magic. I'm your host, Kirbo, and today we are going to be doing a reading for April. We're checking into the energies of the month to see what's ahead of us, to see how we can make it through this month with grace and with ease and receiving everything that we need to receive and understand in order to thrive in this lifetime. Okay? Wonderful. I have two decks with me. We'll see what I end up using. I want you to tune in with me really quickly. We'll just take a few deep breaths together. If it's comfortable for you, in through the nose and out through the mouth, but whatever works, just in this moment, you are at the center of the universe. A beautiful blend of creator and creation. You are at ease in this skin, in this body, in this lifetime. And if any of those don't feel true, that's okay too. Let's take a moment together to inhale all of the goodness we can inhale and to exhale everything else. Okay? Here we go. Inhale. Inhale everything good. Exhale everything else. Spring is in full swing, and I hope that you are taking advantage of any of the extra energy. And if you're feeling a little antsy, if you're feeling a little jumpy, that you find some place to ground off into. You find some activity, some place somewhere to put your toes in the dirt or to make your body sweat or something to discharge that extra energy if you're feeling a little overloaded. Let's check in. Okay, we're definitely keeping the jumper. So the jumper that we have is the 10 of Swords. And I know that this is a dramatic card, and I'm not going to pretend that it's not a dramatic experience, because it is. The 10 of Swords is always an electric experience. It is an air card, and it's actually ruled by Gemini, which tells us that the information that we're receiving through these difficult feelings, the information that we're receiving through this anger, the information that we are receiving through this stubborn, frustrated energy is the key to making it through this energy, is the key to understanding what is underneath that, how we can shed a protective layer of things like anger and judgment and resentment to reveal the vulnerable pain underneath so that it can be addressed in this lifetime, so that it can be addressed not only in this lifetime, but in this place where we are at in our lives, where we are resourced in a different way. We have grown and learned in a different way than we have before. And we have a little bit more wiggle room to come back to these, pains, these wounds, and look at them with fresh eyes, with more compassionate eyes, and with more tools available to actually engage in the healing of our systems, the healing of our internal wounds, the healing of our emotional body. We have the 4 of Pentacles, the 7 of Swords, and Judgment. And I know that this is dramatic and it doesn't look super great and super fun. But the truth is that this is the biggest kind of blessing in the world. This is the big, finally kind of healing. This is the kind of healing that you go through crying and scraping at the walls and desperate to not go in that direction because the pain feels too big, because the work looks too big, because the possibility of healing and growing seems so far away and unattainable that it's a surprise when this energy actually gets us there or paves the road, gives us the circumstances with which to engage in that process. Because when we look ahead and we see what is so painful on our plate to take care of, it's coming down the runway and we're supposed to say, okay, I'm ready for this, I surrender, I do it. But it looks like the thing you've been running from your whole life, like the fear you've been running from, not like, oh, I'm supposed to be talking to ghosts and I've been running away from it, or, oh, I'm supposed to be doing modeling and I'm running away from it. No, even more than that, the reason that you're running away from it, right? Underneath all of that, the real reason that you're running away from it, what is the pain that you're afraid to look at? You may have joked about it your whole life. You may have spoken about it your whole life, being like, yeah, haha, abandonment issues. And now it's time to say, oh, abandonment issues. I have arrived at a personality or ego place or certain soul alignment that helps me, right, as the version of myself now, to address a younger inner version of myself that is connected to my body, the lower self, the physical self, that holds wisdom and information but responds like an animal, like the animal that it is. And those types of animals need care, right? They need patience. They need utmost compassion. They need the person attempting to give them care to be willing to not necessarily be trusted immediately, right? And the compassion and the consistent care to come back and try again, knowing that healing is possible, knowing that finding a way for this sort of feral animal inside to feel safe is possible, but it takes tenacity, it takes patience, it takes a willingness to fall apart a little bit, in the sense that the pieces of yourself that are actually like, I'm done doing this, deserve to be laid to rest. And the pieces of you that are finally close to the surface and close to the sun and close to everyone seeing and loving on them, they get to be able to take that space, to take up that space and say, the me I am now is the one that I'm going to operate forward. And that's the one that is in charge. Right? So when the body is like, I'm triggered, I'm scared, this issue is a problem and I don't want to look at this, like this has happened before, it's mirroring something in my past, the tendency absolutely is to be afraid. And maybe you sometimes fall back into habits you don't want to be doing. And sometimes you fall back into thought processes, right? Thought habits that you don't want to fall back into. But that's a part of the process. That's a part of healing. You're going to walk a zigzag, crooked, spirally path on the way to thinking differently about yourself and feeling differently about yourself. This is really important. The old version of you and the root, the ancestor version of you, the body, the lower self version of you has wisdom and information that you are supposed to bring forward with you in an effort to align your body's goals with your higher soul's goals, right? And you don't have to necessarily know those right now, because this month is really trying to show you, the truth and let you become the truth and encourage a serious energy of rebirth, right? We may be feeling like we are not enough for this work or we don't have enough for this work, but the piece of this work that is on your table right now is a portion that you can engage with. Otherwise, it would not be asking for attention. Otherwise, your coping mechanisms that usually keep that stuff kind of under control are letting it through, right? They're letting it through. All of the weed is letting it through, right? All of the, I don't know the rules on YouTube. All of the self-medication or anything that you could be doing, the running, the hiding, the eating, the painting, anything that you are using, right, to deal with having to live in this world with the trauma that you have is okay. And I don't judge you. And you should do what you can do to feel the best that you can feel. Understood. On the same page. But if you notice that those aren't working, and there's an issue or a thing that keeps coming to your table saying, hello, hello, look at this, look at this, look at this, it might be because you can actually do something about it now. And you might not be able to do that by yourself, right? You might need professional help. You might need a therapist or a counselor. You might need a doctor. You might need a reader. You might need a mentor. You might need a community, a group of friends, a parent. You could need so many things, and you deserve to utilize those things. But that is your resource. That is the new resource, or the other resource that you have with which to engage in this healing journey. And let me tell you, that old self is ready. And the fear is just a fear of not knowing what's underneath, not knowing if there's anything you're going to like underneath this protective image that you have made of yourself. But I can tell you that it feels better than anything to be fully here. And I don't think that I'm there all the time, every day. I think that it's a wild, winding journey. And just like you, there's a piece of it that I can handle and a piece of it that I can't. And you just do what you can when you can, right? But the progress, the space that you make for the true version of yourself to take up more space in your life, to have more control or more say, more influence over what you're doing, the feeling is so elevated. The feeling is more access to your true feelings without fear and without also all the drama. Really, a little bit more closeness and understanding with what your body's needs are and what your mind's needs are and what your soul's needs are. This version of yourself is done because it's done. And the Ten of Swords says that this looks like a death, feels like a death, and in a lot of ways is a death, but it is not the end. It is a freedom. It is a clearing away of what is not just in service to us anymore, but is not true for us anymore. And our higher self, our higher soul knows. Our lower self is willing, right, to have that kind of filter be changed, but it needs its needs met. It desires security and safety of attention, not just in like having our needs met outside of us, which of course is a big part of not being able to like engage with healing stuff, because that causes a whole other set of stressors, a whole other set of fear. And I'm there and I get you. And it doesn't mean that there's no room for this. It doesn't mean that there's no possibility to heal while you don't have all the money you wish you had, because there absolutely is. This is not supposed to be like expensive work, but it's hard when you don't have your needs met. And I get that, but your body is still going to ask you, like, here are my needs. If you can deliver me a sense of security by fulfilling my basic needs, then I can be supple. Sure. I can be vulnerable enough to let this new version of you take care of me. Because that's really what it is. The new version, the true version that is free of this, like, I can't do this, I'm not enough, I'm gonna mess it up, I always mess things up, and I'm just bad because of that. All of that causes you to keep out everything that is useful, to have your boundaries being way too thick in some places and non-existent in other places. This truth that lets you understand what boundaries are healthy, that lets you understand where your worth is and how to anchor it into something more true and not something arbitrary like wrinkles or bank account, right? This is the truth. This is about becoming the truest version of yourself. And that is not an easy journey. But if you've consented to that journey, if you have made an attempt to go along that journey, if you've clicked on this video, it's likely for you and you can do it. The bottom of the deck for the month is the Queen of Swords, which tells us that we have the ability to get all the information right now. We have the ability to see what needs to be done and do it. When it comes to our mind, when it comes to our mind's relationship with the body, when it comes to our boundaries, when it comes to what we allow ourselves to do and not do, how we allow other people to treat us, and what we allow ourselves to say to ourselves. The boundary between ourself and some of the angry voices and the inner child that lives within us, right? All of that is in our toolkit this month. And I know this isn't like fortune telling. I know that I'm not telling you that you're going to make money at the eclipse or that your life is just going to like twist and change and everything's going to be good. But what I can tell you is that this is how everything gets good. That this is hard and it is emotional and it is real work. That's why they call it work. But this is how it gets good. And there isn't really a way around this. You deserve to be the version of yourself that can handle this life, that wants this life, that can adjust the things that are not resonant with this life and land themselves in a life that is as resonant as possible, to align your body and your mind and your soul, to get them all on the same page, to get the horses and the chariot and the charioteer all together to start this race, to start this journey. It's not a race. I hope that was helpful. I know that that's a lot of big information, but I think that you can handle it. And I think that you can really become whole. And it is only a state of mind that keeps us from wholeness in a lot of ways. And that doesn't diminish the needs that we have in the physical world that try to make us not feel whole or think that there's no possible way to be whole without XYZ. And I just don't see that as the case. I see you as deserving of everything. I see you as deserving of feeling true, feeling honest, living honest, having your outside reflect your inside in so many different ways. And this is, again, the path to some of the roadblocks that are inside of you. It's not going to clear away every single roadblock between you and that goal in the physical world, but this is the beginning to being able to hurdle those things, to being able to jump over those hurdles, to being able to untangle the tangle, to clear away the clogged pathway between who you really are and living that way. I hope that's helpful. Thank you so much for sticking around, and have such a beautiful, beautiful April. What do you think this is going to be like? What are your cards telling you? What do these cards tell you that they are delivering straight to you without coming out of my mouth? Right? What do you get? What do you get when you see these cards? What do you feel about the future? I hope that you are taking care of yourself. We have a lot of big astrology, and my biggest recommendation for any big astrology is to not let go of the care of the body. If there's anything that you can do to utilize the new moon, the full moon, the eclipse, right, is to feed yourself, feed your mind, feed your soul, feed your body, and have compassion for the experience. You're not going to mess it up. You can't mess it up. You can't mess the astrology up. It's just going to teach you what it can teach you in that moment. And that's all you need from it. So take care and live bold, and I'll talk to you soon. Love you.